drop right down on the tile and go for it?
Actually, I had this counter in mind.
Miles Teller recently gave an update on Top Gun 3 in an interview, sharing what Tom Cruise has told him about the sequel. The film will come 36 years after the original, with the 2022 Top Gun Maverick being a huge hit both critically and commercially. In the movie, Cruise returns as Maverick, now training the new recruits, including Teller's character Rooster, who's Goose's son. After its success, Top Gun 3 was confirmed, but not much has been shared since then. In the interview with Collider, Teller mentioned that he's had talks with Cruise about Top Gun 3. While he doesn't know much about the script yet, he says both the fans and the Top Gun team are excited about the sequel. He also shared that Cruise promised to give him enough time to get back into Top Gun shape, which is all he asked for. Currently, Top Gun 3 is in the script phase. Earlier this year, producer Jerry Bruckheimer revealed that they've spent time with Cruise and have a story in place, which Cruise is excited about. However, with Cruise's packed schedule, it might take some time before the movie actually moves forward. Teller's mention of getting back into Top Gun shape suggests that the film will stick with the practical filmmaking methods used in Top Gun Maverick, where the actors flew in real fighter jets to film the action scenes. If the sequel sticks to this style, it's a good sign for the thrilling aerial sequences fans loved in the first movie. Though Top Gun 3 may not arrive until 2028 or 2029, the team is eager to bring another exciting flight adventure to the big screen. All that said, while there is no official release date for Top Gun 3, we know it's in the works. We've got a fun theory on how this sequel might go down. Let's dive in. First off, the third film is rumored to be called Top Gun Legacy, and here's where things get intense. We're thinking Captain Pete Maverick Mitchell is going to die. Yep, you heard that right. With all the setup from the previous movies, it makes perfect sense for Maverick to go out in a heroic way, kind of like his dad did during the Vietnam War. It'll be a big sacrifice, saving his fellow servicemen in a final emotional act. But before that, let's talk about how the story could unfold. The movie kicks off with the aftermath of the previous film. Remember that uranium enrichment plant Maverick and the Navy pilots destroyed? Yeah, well, the country that owned it lost billions, and we all know that if you're that wealthy, you don't just sit back and take a hit like that. The nation is probably going to come after those responsible, and that means the Navy and Top Gun could be in some serious trouble. So, we predict that within the first 15 minutes of Top Gun 3, terrorists will attack the Top Gun program, setting the stage for everything that follows. Here's the opening scene. It's a quiet, serene night, and we see a fighter jet flying across the sky. We're in the beautiful San Diego Bay, and it's all peaceful until, BAM! The sound of motorcycles breaks the silence. Maverick's out in front, with Lieutenant Bradley Rooster Bradshaw trailing behind him. The two are racing along a dangerous mountain road, engines roaring as they navigate sharp turns. Hangman's voice comes over their radios, calling out the distance to the finish line as Maverick takes the lead. Maverick wins the race, and they end up at the bar, where Rooster, with a grin, tells Maverick that the race might be over for them. But Maverick's not letting him off that easy. Before Rooster can say much, the sound of an explosion shakes the bar. They rush outside to find a huge cloud of smoke rising from the Navy base, and in a panic, they head to the scene. When they arrive at North Island Navy Base, it's a gut-wrenching sight. The Top Gun school's hangar is now a pile of rubble. It's a terrorist attack, and the aftermath is devastating. 5 servicemen are dead, and many more are injured. The Navy isn't sure if this is an act of war, but to avoid causing a public panic, they decide to temporarily shut down the Top Gun program. Vice Admiral Cyclone Simpson tells Maverick and Rooster that this is the only way to keep things under control, but Rooster's not buying it. He argues that shutting it down only benefits their enemies, but Cyclone stands firm. The Top Gun crew is reassigned to a new project, the Dark Star program, to keep them busy and out of the way. It's an experimental program with the Dark Star Mark I, an ultra-fast scramjet-powered aircraft that pushes the limits of speed. Maverick hits Mach 10 without a hitch, impressing Rear Admiral Hammer Kane, who runs the Dark Star program. Alongside Maverick, Rooster, and Hangman, 4 other pilots from Top Gun, Bob, Phoenix, Payback, and Fanboy, are now part of the program. Despite their usual rivalries, they all quickly become top performers. However, while they're busy with Dark Star, they secretly launch their own investigation into the bombing of Top Gun. Eventually, they uncover something big. The crew is entrusted with a special mission involving 6 Dark Star jets. It seems like a routine test flight, but in the middle of nowhere, out in the Rocky Mountains, things take a deadly turn. Suddenly, they're ambushed by enemy experimental jets, and the crew is caught off guard. The attackers know that the pilots are low on fuel and ammo, and they're easy targets. In the chaos, Fanboy and Payback are shot down almost immediately. Maverick realizes what's at stake and makes the ultimate decision to save his team. In a dramatic move, he sacrifices himself, taking out 2 of the enemy jets by crashing into them. The remaining enemy jet flees, and Maverick's crew, now down to 4 pilots, returns to base with heavy hearts. Maverick's death devastates the crew, but they're not done fighting. They decide to go rogue. Maverick's death fuels their anger, and they hijack jets for a secret revenge mission. They team up with Rear Admiral Warlock, who gives them intel linking the attack to the uranium plant. The crew learns that the enemy used a carrier ship to intercept their test flight, and they track the ship's movements to find an opening for a counterattack. But before they can launch their final assault, Phoenix receives an emergency signal about a sinking ocean liner. Despite their mission, Rooster insists that saving lives comes first. After a tense standoff, they decide to abort their mission and save the 3,000 people on the liner. It's a huge decision, but in the end, it's the right one. The Top Gun crew saves the day, but they also face the consequences of their actions. Vice Admiral Cyclone scolds them for hijacking the jets, but he also acknowledges their bravery. The Navy reinstates the Top Gun school, realizing they'll need all the elite pilots they can get to face the new enemy. The film ends with Maverick's funeral, alongside Payback and Fanboy's memorial. The new Top Gun hangar, named after Pete Maverick Mitchell, is built in his honor, and it marks the beginning of a new chapter for Rooster, Hangman, Phoenix, and Bob. With Maverick gone, they carry on the legacy and continue to honor his memory, knowing that the story is far from over. And that wraps up today's video. If you want to stay updated on all the latest movie news, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. By doing so, you'll stay in the loop with all our future updates. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Remember, we're always open to your suggestions for future videos, so feel free to leave them in the comments below.